Welcome to this final video in this series looking at how the amateur golfer moves their body differently to that of a tour professional. My name is Chris Ryan, thank you for joining me at the Forest of Arden. This, as I say, is video number 5, and we're going to be showing you some key differences in the follow-through position which can really correlate to your ability in this game. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden, and this is the final video in the series looking at how an amateur moves their body and how that's very, very different to what we tend to see from the elite golfers that we see on TV. We've covered lots of things so far in this video series. We've looked at the hips, the shoulders, the amount of rotation you've got at impact. And today we're going to look at something in the follow through, which again really strongly correlates to the golfer's handicap level. Let's go through exactly what that is. And it's what we call extension in the upper body. So what we would tend to see from the high level golfer, the golfers that we see on TV, the golfers that we really aspire to be like, is when they finish their golf swing, they will have what we call extension. You can almost call it arching backward this way. The best way for you to visualize this is where the buttons on your shirt would be pointing. You can see how if I finish my golf swing in this position, the buttons on my shirt would be pointing very much up into the sky. As we see the handicaps go up and up and up and creep into the teens and the 20s, we tend to see those buttons start to point more down towards the ground. So a high handicap golfer would often finish more in this position, where you can see the buttons are pointing very much more down towards the ground. And this again would be something we see as a real strong correlation between this position at the end and the handicap of that golfer. So why is that the case? Well, it's really all to do with how we move the hips in the downswing and how we go through to impact. What that means is if you have watched these first 4 videos and you've done a little bit of work on those elements, this 5th part should already become a little bit better. The golfers who tend to have the buttons more down towards the ground do that because they often don't have enough lateral movement to the pelvis on the way down. You can see how my hips have backed up. As I rotate through, it keeps my chest pointing down towards the ground. If, as we did in that previous video, we can get you to feel like you push your pelvis a little bit more towards the target and you have good amount of rotation at impact, when you follow through, you're going to start to see those buttons point more up towards the sky. So this final video is something we want you to look at and practice, but it may well be that this actually happens a little bit more naturally based on the previous videos in this series. Extending the body. Extending means from going in this flex position to this position, which we do through the golf swing. I start in flexion, I finish in extension. It is a fantastic way to put some energy and some speed into the golf club. We all would like to do that. There's not many people I meet who wouldn't like a few extra yards with irons and driver. So using this extension of the body is a fantastic way to get some good speed into the golf club. So practice making some swings, and when you finish, you're going to feel that your belt buckle is the closest thing to the target, and your buttons point very much up towards the sky. For many of you, that will actually feel like there's a little bit of pressure on the lower back. This is absolutely fine, because again, this is what we tend to see from the elite golfers versus this position we tend to see from the amateur handicap golfers. Right, let's go ahead and see if we can hit this one into the 15th. I've got a 7-iron. I'm going to try and do all of the things that we spoke about in this video series. Nice extended finish position, buttons to the sky. And there you can see, if I take my trail arm off, you can see where my buttons point very much up towards the sky. And that's what we're really after. Belt buckle is closer to the target than my buttons. There's my extension. That's what we would tend to see from the amateur golfer. So, a 5-part video series showing you exactly how a tour pro golfer moves their body and how that's very different to what we see from the amateur golfers. This video series was not based around visuals. It was actually based around data that's been captured over a huge period of time, over lots of golfers, and these are the strongest correlations that we can find between what an amateur golfer does and what an elite tour level golfer does. So if you can watch this video series, take some things from it, use these drills and practice them, you can start to elevate your game, you can start to play better, and you can start to have more fun out on the golf course, which is ultimately what we're all trying to do. So thank you very much for watching this video series. I really hope there was something in there which is helpful, something practical which you can do in practice. And I hope it results in some lower scores next time you play. Usual stuff is down below. There's a comments box down there. There's a like button. And over here, that logo, if you click on that, that will allow you to be a free subscriber of the channel. It just means that you won't miss any of the upcoming content. Thank you once again for watching. We'll hopefully see you back here again soon.